Today I fucked up by having quickie sex with my wife after not doing it for more than 4 years. Bit of a background, my wife was diagnosed 4 years ago with an illness affecting her kidneys which required her to undergo dialysis. This medical situation often leaves her weak and lethargic. The fact that she cannot also get pregnant means we never had sexy time during this period. Fast forward about 2 weeks ago, we found a kidney donor and she had a successful operation. The protocol after the operation was that she needs to stay in an isolation house with a private nurse to prevent her from getting sick so that her body will not reject the new kidneys. I'm only allowed to visit her for only a few hours just to bring in her food and supplies. A couple of days ago I brought in her usual supplies and I was told that her private nurse would be coming in late due to personal reasons. So we were left alone in the room, and after we made eye contact and I already knew what she wants, so I quickly showered, excited about having our long-awaited sexy time. I knew she was also excited because when I came out of the bathroom she literally jumped on top of me to perform oral sex. While she was doing this she got a bit too excited and she playfully bit on my dick. Surprised, I shouted and sat up so I can flip her to her back for my turn. I started putting it in her and after a few pumps I noticed blood was coming out of her vag. I thought what bad luck, she has her period, but since we were already doing it I might as well finish. After a few seconds my dick started to get limp and I was thinking maybe it is psychological since I got turned off by the sight of her bloody period. At this time I already lost my erection and went to the bathroom to clean up. While I was showering I noticed that I was having trouble getting rid of her blood. Then I knew something was wrong because I could feel pain while washing up. I checked the bottom of the shaft and discovered that I had a deep wound and I the one bleeding. She came inside the bathroom to help and fortunately the bleeding stopped. So I lost my erection since the blood in my dick was leaking out, which I thought was her period. We had a good laugh about it and declared that sexy time is delayed indefinitely until the wound healed. Too long didn't read. Wife was so excited to have a much delayed sexy time and bit my dick, causing me to bleed out my erection during sex. I'm fine by the way. Edit 1. For those recommending to see our doctor, thanks for your concern and we already did see her doctor. Her lab results came back clean, no bacterial infection or viruses, she's fine. I'm doing great too. Edit 2. I hate for sexy time. We find it cute calling it that, it's our couple thing. There's more than 100 innuendos describing a sexual act, that's just one of them. Relax guys. I was actually relieved when I got to the end it wasn't some horror story about causing her to reject her kidney or something. Opstick is so big it shot the new kidney right out of her mouth. Till the end I was praying, please don't be her kidneys. I'm no expert on the subject, but you may want get checked for infection if it was really that deep. As to my knowledge, human bites that break the skin can cause pretty nasty ones sometimes. You really got shafted there. At least you'll win No Nut November now. Today I fucked up by having diarrhea for my entire adult life. This today I fucked up is a lifetime in the making, but I realized the depth of my stupidity today. When I was a young kid, under 10, I watched some sort of health program where other kids were explaining how different body systems worked, what you could do to be healthy, how bad injuries heal, etc. During this program, there was one kid talking about your digestive tract. He had a clear tube a couple inches in diameter full of food stuff. He explained that when you ate food with fiber, it helped move your food through your system, demonstrated by pushing a pipe cleaner through the tube and the food flying out. I thought, oh cool, fiber pushed food through your system. Fast forward to adulthood. Develop a myriad of gastrointestinal issues, eventually diagnosed as IBS. I get wicked poops. Like, pure liquid running out of my butt. Picture lava flowing down a volcano. It's gross. I start to see doctors. Lots of doctors. For the IBS diagnosis, all of the life-threatening things are ruled out with lots of very invasive procedures, colonoscopy before 21. The first doctor tells me to eat fiber to help with the diarrhea. I nod politely and ignore him. So does the second, third, fourth. All of them. I proceed to suffer through over a decade of IBS, alternating between medicine to stop it and medicine to make me shit. Today, after a stint that cost me yet another pair of underpants, it occurs to me that fiber isn't a pipe cleaner. Fiber is what bulks up your poops so you can have normal poop. Fiber is what I need. I've paid for thousands of dollars of doctors and ignored their advice based solely on a fucking tube and a pipe cleaner. I sharted countless times and ruined so many underwear. I've spent 15 years in misery because of something I learned at 9. Because I am an idiot who doesn't listen to doctors. I fucked up. I will be buying fiber supplements in the morning. TL doctor, fiber bulks your poops up, doesn't push them out like a pipe cleaner. Take your fiber, kids. Genuinely curious. Yeah, I don't monitor my fiber intake or take any steps to supplement my intake, but I don't have this problem. Feel like it still indicates something wrong. But I'm no doctor. TIFU by ignoring multiple doctors' advice and shitting myself for the last 10 years. I'm in my mid-30s and just realized I am lactose intolerant. Still unsure if I developed it later in life or was just in denial. Edit, holy shit this blew up. Sorry that I hijacked your today I fucked up post-op. You lose lactose tolerance over time so it just got worse until you noticed it probably. Maybe instead of jumping right to fiber supplements, you should just try for a balanced diet. You can't get more balanced than one of everything off of Taco Bell's value menu. Today I fucked up by improperly storing tree sap and ruining my kid's syrup dream for 2020. Happened 9 days ago. I'm still bummed. This could also be a till, because till how today I fucked up. TL doctor at bottom. Last year my son and I collected 10 gallons of maple tree sap. Spent an entire Saturday boiling it down with a mishmash of disposable pans, barbecue grills, fire pits, a turkey fryer, and pots. We ended up with just under a quart of syrup. Yes, making syrup from tree sap is about a 40-to-1 reduction. It's worth it because the syrup tastes amazing. This year, we planned it out and went big. We were going to collect a lot more sap and boil it down to a lot more syrup. We upgraded our boiling equipment and added taps and buckets. All told, we collected close to 50 gallons of sap. Our basement is relatively cool in the summer and cold in the winter, so we stored it down there for a couple weeks while collecting. When the boil day came, we hauled it all up to the backyard and poured the first 5 gallons into the monster wok we bought specially for this day. Sent a picture of the sap in the boil rig to the friend who got me started on this hobby last year. He replied quickly, saying, "Looks like you got some spoiled sap there, buddy." Turns out, you have to treat raw tree water as if it is milk. And no, my basement was not cold enough to store milk for 2 weeks. All that hard work went to waste. We returned the tree water to the ground from whence it came. The worst part is that my son had big plans to do a show and tell at school with his homemade syrup. As bad luck would have it, Corona probably ruined that before I did. But still, pancakes will not be the same this year. TL doctor improperly stored 45 gallons of tree sap. It spoiled, couldn't make syrup out of it, ruined my son's plans for show and tell. Edit fix to link. Also, want to add that I did finish that original boil down just to see what would happen. So I also learned that you cannot make syrup from spoiled sap. How does one tell if the sap is spoiled? The cloudy color smells like bread when you start to boil it. I know because I just discovered the exact same thing yesterday. Hey, shout out to you for doing a project like this with your kid. Even though it didn't work out this year, it's a learning experience. Collected sap with my dad when I was a kid. It's a great way to learn about nature and appreciate the earth. Never give up, next season will be big. Till maple syrup doesn't leak as syrup from the trees. Apparently there are ways to make some decent booze out of spoiled sap. I am still researching as I learned the same thing yesterday. Search for maple beer. Next year boil the sap for a few minutes before you store it. It will keep much longer but still not forever. Also sterilize your buckets and lids thoroughly with H202 before you put the sterilized, slightly cooled sap into them. Then make sure the whole thing cools down as quickly as possible. One of the secrets to good syrup is making it as soon as it is collected. If you have a freezer or live in a cold place you can half freeze the sap. The water will freeze and the sugar will not. You can remove large chunks chunks of ice that will be pure, very pure, water. This will reduce the amount of sap that you have to sterilize/store and later boil down by as much as half. If you want to make it into an alcoholic drink, then boil it down until it has the correct sugar content for what you want to make. You will need a Brix meter. Yes, this must be done before it gets cloudy.